Okay, we're gonna look at Avantis. Pretty booming crypto coin right now in the market cap. Also a coin that has been dropped recently on the Binance chart. It is since Tuesday 9th of September. And I want to look at this chart in this video from the live stream. First thing that really stands out, big wick right there with a small rejection towards the downside to continue your trend. Also on the daily it looks interesting because it has just been up until proven otherwise. There's not a lot of price data, so we can zoom in pretty quickly. Also interesting, we got this wick and from there people started selling. And as a reaction of that, you're gonna get in more sellers that want to push price down again because they think, okay, it's a new project, we lose trust in this and we want to lose our positions and trade lower. You can see right here, we got more rejection towards the downside, sellers trying to take over, they fill. From here you started trading up again, so this is a nice demand zone to also draw in our chart in combination with this big wick to maybe continue looking for longs if price wants to come down here. You can also draw this in as a big zone, but I'm just gonna do it with an arrow so my chart keeps clean. Bit of structure just before we traded above this big wick again, as you can see right here. Also something you want to have in your chart because this is really the last place where sellers try to push price down to make some profits on a new coin that is being listed and people are too bullish on. Well, they fill and you can see the aggression towards the upside right here. Also a zone to have in your chart. 3 POI zones. Let's look at what is locally happening. First things we see, a range. We are in an uptrend, so we are gonna draw a range from top to bottom. And we can already see we have one deviation on the high, which can mean that whales or the market makers that have pushed price up on this coin are trying to get rid of their positions right here to target the lows again and take profits on the highs. So this is an interesting deviation on the high on this range. Let's zoom in a bit more to see what locally happened at this high. We deviated the range, so we're gonna extend the range as well. Already tapped into a supply we left behind. Can indicate that we already have a third tap, but we don't know for sure. So don't get ahead of ourselves and put a dot in there. We have to find out if market makers really are trying to lose their positions right here. On the 1 hour, I want to look at our structure. This is just one structure pool. There's not really clean candle formations towards the upside. I wouldn't draw this in at a structure even though it looks like we had a pullback here. That is correct, but the candle formations aren't the cleanest. So I wouldn't treat that as a structure low. For that we're gonna look at a lower time frame. Then this is a nice structure low to watch. You can see we also swept it. Was also pretty much your extreme liquidity of this whole up move towards a new all-time high on Avantis. So of course we're gonna get a reaction from that. But if you look at our 15-minute structure, we had a structure pool right here. So if we were really bullish, you wanted to see price hold this low and continue your uptrend from here to trade towards new highs. If we draw in what happened here, we swept it, which is fine. If we do this, it's not a break of structure, you can still create highs. But it doesn't happen. We tap into the extreme supply I talked about, and from there we really started trading towards the downside, and right now we broke that structure as well. But I think the picture is clear that we have a change of character towards the downside, and right now we expect on the 15-minute we're gonna make lower highs and lower lows. if this step into this extreme supply was enough. If this isn't enough, we can still see Avantis coming up. The cleanest way to come up was with a bit of grindy price action to create a lot of liquidity on the lows, which the market makers can target if it deviate the high once more. From there, get a break of structure towards the downside, look for a local entry, and then you could target at least the range low, but maybe even runners towards all these higher time frame zones I pointed out at the beginning of this video. Let's zoom in a bit more. The 15-minute, this is your structure high to hold. So if you want to continue our trend down, you're gonna hold this high and trade lower. If not, because we don't have a really nice clean break of structure on the higher time frame, we can push through, trade up, and then go towards range high and take that out. Yeah, there's not really anything else that is gonna hold you down here apart from this point. But then we already broke structure again, so we expect higher highs and higher lows in combination with our higher time frame trend, which is still up. So it can get a bit bearish on Avantis, but right now there aren't the cleanest indications that they are already selling positions right here. And if they already did, then we're gonna protect this local high and trade lower towards a range low. If not, then this range high is a thing to watch if we get a deviation and a local indication that we can trade lower. If they don't want to sell their positions and continue the trend, we can of course trade higher, maybe use the old range high to continue our uptrend and just keep pushing this coin up.